All right. Here we are taking a break from Innistrad drafting and doing another Sunblock draft. Well, Blade Splicer is an excellent card and is worth a few tickets. Dismember also worth a few tickets and also an excellent card. Doesn't commit me to a color. I think Dismember is the better overall pick, but Blade Splicer being very, very good in and of itself. And obviously I'm taking the tickets into consideration here and being worth double the amount of the Dismember. Probably going to go ahead and take the Splicer at the moment. Meaning that the next person in line is going to be taking Dismember. Unless they're insane. I can't really see them taking anything else. The person after that, I mean, it's probably going to be the Suture Priest or the Spire Monitor, depending on what they've picked up. Maybe even, I mean, the Talisman, but that's doubtful. I don't think we're really going to get anything back from this pack. There's like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5, 6. I mean, we're going to get just complete crap. So, taking the Splicer here, and hopefully, I mean, Suture Priest is the only thing really that we passed in the Metalcraft deck. I guess, you know, Pristine Talisman could fit, but it's not amazing for a curve in that type of deck. So, we'll see what we get past here. I don't really like green-white. Glitz of Scorn, probably the best card in this pack. Don't really like white-black either. Though I do like Glistening Oil. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take Remember the Fallen. I mean, Slash Panther is good in the Metalcraft deck, so it's possible I should take that over the Remember, but I don't really want to commit myself to another color just yet, even though Slash Panther obviously isn't really committing to a color, but Remember is good enough, especially with stuff like Blade Splicer. I think it's worth picking up here and just seeing what else I get. Yeah, I mean, Glisses is good, and it is splashable, but again, this is probably just a little bit worse than Glisses, and it's still in our color. It works pretty well with Blade Splicer, so we're going to grab it and see where it goes from there. I think Blinding Soul Eater, again, just with our color, it works really well with the Remember that we just got. Yeah, I don't see any reason to take anything else here. They've taken some uncommons, so we don't really know what they're drafting here based on what we're getting. And it does look like, you know, White's Inquisitor Exarch is really only good in this deck. Hovermere is decent in this deck. Soul Eater is decent. We've seen another Soul Eater pass. So it looks like hopefully we're going to be fed some decent Metalcraft cards. But again, they've taken uncommons, so we really don't know what they're exactly grabbing. Well, it looks like they're definitely not going Infect. I mean, with a Spinebiter and an Elf still here. I honestly don't know what's best in this deck. Either the Volt Scourge or the Gremlin Mine, I think, are the best two cards for what we currently have. I'm leaning towards the Gremlin Mine just because, again, it works good with Remember the Fallen, and it's probably going to be decent against us. And it's a fine removal card on its own. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and take that here. And, I mean, notice this pack is incredibly deep. Like, all these cards are playable, though, I mean, obviously, Flameborn, Viron, and Shrine, probably not the best cards to be playing, but this is a pretty deep pack, especially because they've only taken a rare and an uncommon. Maybe there was even a foil or something in this pack. Wow, Mind Coin. Well, we might be going white-blue, or we might just be splashing this. This is a very good card. Certainly much better than anything else that we can grab. I mean, Shrewcrafter's okay, but kind of not what we're looking for with what we currently have. Wow, and this stuff continues to be open. Looks like the person next to us is not going Infect, so they are probably, I mean, we haven't seen any red. As much as we would like to be playing red-white, like Slash Panther is really the best red card we've seen, so they're probably going... I mean, Mindcoil and some people just don't like it very much, so maybe they're red-blue, because we've seen the Spire Monitor second pick. We haven't seen a lot of other blue, and we have seen a Blighted Agent, but yeah, I mean, they're definitely red. They're not black-green, because they're not Infect. Maybe they're red-black removal. Yeah, anyway, I'm taking Force Worship here. I think it's the best card for our deck. I mean, Hovermere's okay, but just not as good as Force Worship. Especially if we're going to be white-blue. I don't like Thundering Tanadon all that much. And again, we have like Gremlin Mine, so it's not that good against us. I think just picking up a second Force Worship is okay here. Oh, Tanadon is, I mean, he's not horrible in this type of deck. God, another Glistener Elf. Somebody's going to have a ton of quick elves. Well, I don't think Throatseeker is necessarily worth picking up here. We might just be splashing this. I don't really like the Pestilence Soul Eater. I think I'll just go ahead and take the Phyrexia's Core. I mean, we didn't get any Artillerizes or any Mycosynth Wellsprings, and we're certainly not wheeling any since we didn't even see any in the packs. God, or I just take the Victorious Destruction. And it's tough. I'm going to take the Destruction. I mean, there's an argument for the Core in case I see other Wellsprings in the next few packs, but I don't know if I'd want to, like, if we are going to end up splashing, I don't necessarily want to screw up my mana base too much since we don't have any Mycosynth Wellsprings to work with that Core. I'm just going to take Chain Throatseeker here. It's the best card in this pack. All these other cards really aren't worth mentioning or playing. Here I'm just going to take the Flameborn Viren. Well, I could take Loxodon and Convert. I still don't think we're... I mean, it's either that or the rare. I guess I should take the Convert, because we might end up playing it, and this thing's just not worth anything at all. But, like, if I'm playing Convert, I'm really not happy. Wow, and another elf. Maybe, like, nobody is going. In fact, though, this pack, I think, had a Spinebiter and a Mutagenic Growth. I'm going to take the Razor Swine, because we might end up playing him if need be. Neither of these cards are playable. Yeah, so our first few picks were fine, and then it just kind of broke down from there. I mean, it could be that they're even playing white-red next to us. Wow, Phyrexian Crusader. And Pierce Strider. I mean, we haven't really... I just don't think we can commit to another color for something like that right now. I mean, gosh, I think we have to first pick Pierce Strider here, even though I'm not happy with that. I mean, it works with our Remember. I don't really like... I mean, Skinwing's just a little too slow for my taste. Same with Strandwalker. I think Pierce Strider's slightly better than those. Not 100% sure on that, but that's just my inclination. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and take the Pierce Strider here. I haven't played this format in a while, so maybe I'm forgetting, like, if those things are that good or not, but I was never a gigantic fan of those. And interesting. Corrupted Conscience. Well, while Relic Order is very good, and Corrupted Conscience kind of commits us to blue, it's not awful if we end up playing the Throatseeker, and our red is just not... I mean, it's not worth talking about, really. And Mind Culling is very good by itself. I don't think I, would consider taking any of these other cards at the moment, aside from the Relic Order or the Corrupted Conscience. Corrupted Conscience is good enough. I think it's worth just shifting over. It's the kind of card, like, these kind of cards work together. Like, Force Worship's much better in a blue-white strategy anyway than in a white-red strategy. Just because of the nature of the fact that blue has some flyers and these can lock down ground pounders, whereas white-red kind of would have to force through the ground and there'd be plenty of blocking opportunities. Here, I actually think Priest of Norn is okay, since if we end up running the Throatseeker, I mean, it gets in there, and it protects us to get to our, deeper cards. I'm wishing I didn't take Pierce Strider now, because that definitely does not really work very well in a blue-white strategy. I mean, that might have been a reason to take something like Skinwing instead, just because it fits more in blue-white, and this is not a blue-white card. This is more the white-red card. We might get something like the Infuser late, so we could be keeping our eye out for artifacts that might work with that. Revoker, while okay, I just think Priest of Norn is the better pick here for our deck, and we'll probably wheel like the Vivisection or the Geyser here. Or, I mean, I guess Spire Serpent can be going, could come back on the wheel over those, but it's possible we will on. I think Steel Sabotage is just the best get here. And we might be wheeling a Gust Skimmer later. We've seen a couple of those pass. Well, Sky Hunter is probably one of the better cards that we'd want at the moment. Though it doesn't fit with you know, the little bit of infect that we have. Like, this represents such a fast clock that if we do end up playing it, I mean, something like Priest of Norn or Corrupted Conscience, we could just kill them outright with it. So it's not too bad to mix and match a little bit when Throat Seeker is a kill condition. And hopefully we'd wheel like the Oculus to work with the Vivisection, but I think that's probably doubtful in this pack this late. It's amazing that we're getting you know, Blight Widow coming back, considering how much of the infect we ended up passing. Maybe there's just insane uncommons in this pack. This is between Serum Raker or the Carapace. I think this deck clearly would rather have the Serum Raker. I mean, Priest of Norn, we don't really want to hook that up with Carapace. We want to be blocking with that. And we do just want flyers to fly over with the ground being locked up by Force Worship, so this fits nicely. I really dislike Feel for the Cause. Don't think, I mean, even though we do have like the Priest of Norn, it works okay with that card. I don't think it's worth it here. I think I'd rather just take the Hexblade Golem. Probably not going to end up playing it, but it's possible in this type of deck. And maybe we'll get a Treasure Mage in the next pack. Nope, no Treasure Mage. Wow. Well, we're certainly not playing, you know, I mean, I don't think we can hate Morbid Plunder. We're also not killing a lot of creatures, so it's not, you know, something we're that concerned about. I think I'll just take the Copper Carapace here. Though we may or may not be playing it in this deck. Another Carapace wield. I mean, I guess in the next pack, if we end up with enough fast, you know, flyers like Glynhawks, the Carapaces could be really good with what we currently have. I'm going to take Carapace here. I don't think Partisan is worth taking with what we have. I mean, it's just not a great card anyway. We don't have a lot of, you know, cards to combo well with it. We certainly don't want a second Hexblade Golem. Moron Spy, while we're probably not playing it, I guess with Copper Carapaces it's okay. And here's the Vivisection we got back, so no Geyser or the Geyser and the Sparser weren't taking over the Vivisection. Hopefully we'll get the Oculus here, but I strongly doubt it, and we did not. Just all these cards are getting to be unplayable. Digester's not unplayable. Probably not going to be played, but it does interact well with Remember the Fallen, so you know, we could consider that there. Also works okay with Moron Spy. I mean, it's an artifact. Like, if we go Blade Splicer, Moron Spy, Digester to untap the first strike token, that's decent defense. But, I mean, we currently have a lot of playables, and Digester is not something that we're really looking to be playing here. Alright. Well, this is quite the unfortunate pack for us. I mean, there's literally nothing. I guess taking the Excidia Scrap Melter is probably the best bet. It's a decent card against us. And maybe we pick up like an Iron Mirror or something to splash. Sadly, we don't have any way to splash yet. And yet, this pack is just literally void. I mean, we're not taking a CC Initiative or Scrapped Iris Servant. Infiltration Lens is really not what this deck wants to be using. I mean, we'd rather have the Copper Carapace, I think. Yeah, that's quite unfortunate. And a Scrap Melter is a better splash than the Galvanic Blast, I believe. We're not rare drafting the Copperline Gorge. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Well, there is an Iron Mirror. In fact, Darksteel Juggernaut, Yeah, I mean, we don't have... Although we might be upping our artifact count, I don't think something like Darksteel Juggernaut's worth it. Our deck's more defensive-minded. Taking the Skyguard here could be okay and, you know, decent for our deck. We do have expensive spells, though. We do have a lot of 4-drops. And I think Splashing Scrap Melter's fine. If, as I said, if we pick up some Iron Mirror, and there's the Iron Mirror staring us in the face. And I think, you know, we might be getting like Auriok Replica back from this pack. There's like 1, 2, 3. I mean, this... I'll count this one. So 3... 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if the Furnace Celebration fits in somebody's deck. So there's a decent amount of playables that I think would get something like the Quarter Shield or the Replica back. Not sure I'd like be playing the Shield in this deck. But yeah, I think the Iron Mirror's quite clearly the pick, and we'll cross our fingers we see Skyguard, though it's doubtful. Well, here I think we got to decide between Flight Spellbomb, Riddlesmith, or Disperse. Bloodshot Trainee is actually not horrible to splash with the Copper Carapaces, but it's something that might easily come back. I'm going to go ahead and hide the Convert here, and I'm going to hide my Golem. We have enough artifacts, and since we do have a splash card, like, I think the Riddlesmith is probably the pick here. Though Flight Spell works pretty well with Remember the Fallen, it's possible we're going to end up getting that back. Let's see if there's anything, like, Disperse could be okay too. But yeah, I think Riddlesmith is just going to be the pick. It's another quick drop to go with, like, your Carapace to put up some pressure, and it does get us to, like, our Mind Cooling or Corrupted Conscience and mill away the... cards that we might not be able to cast, like if we can't cast that Scrap Melter. Well, we definitely don't have enough artifacts to say support Chrome Steed yet. Snapsail Glider, not horrible, obviously. It's still, you know, it's a little bit better than Chrome Steed if you don't have Metalcraft or can't get Metalcraft. But probably not the pick here. I think we just rather have the Flight Spellbomb. I don't particularly like Stoic Rebuttal all that much, though. It could be okay in our deck. I think Flight Spellbomb just, again, getting us to our Corrupted Conscience. Getting that hit in there maybe with a Priest in Orn with flying. Just going to be the better card, especially because we have to Remember the Fallen here. And we might get something like the Invisimancer or the Rebuttal back. Doubtful, but possible. God, we continue to see just... crazy green stuff coming. I mean, I guess we could have been an Infect, though we didn't have anything to push us that way in the very first few cards. Here, Horizon Spellbomb, while it can go get our Mountain, I don't think I particularly want to grab that. I think Sunspear Shikari might just be better. We might be getting the Quarter Shield back, which would work okay with the Shikari. We do have 2 Copper Carapaces. And Shikari plus Copper Carapace is quite the beating, so I think we're going to go that route. God, and now a Corpsecure even. Alright. Yeah, whoever's playing Infect, I mean, I wonder if anybody's playing Infect. I don't think we're playing a Digester here. I'm going to go ahead and hide that. This is between the Trinket Mage and the Neurok Replica. Trinket Mage actually looks pretty good to me right here. With these 4 one-ofs. Neurok Replica is okay, but since Trinket Mage is drawing us quite a lot of cards, I mean, we got a decent selection here. I think Trinket Mage is definitely going to be the pick. Well, I don't even know how this is still here. I mean, it looks like just nobody's wanting to draft, in fact. We're going to take Necropede. I mean, it works with Remember the Fallen. Too bad we don't have anything to proliferate, but it also can, you know, get in there to allow our Throat Seeker to get a kill later. Yeah. Well, there's Steady Progress that allows us to proliferate, but I think I'd just rather have another Spellbomb. Though Soul Parry, we've seen 2 Untamed Might, so Soul Parry might not be horrible. I'm going to end up having a cut, like Maron Spy is going to be cut from this for sure. Might even be cutting the Throat Seeker here. Yeah, I'll take the Spellbomb. And wow, yeah, Untamed Might. Just gobble that up. Well, we got the Replica back, not the Skyguard. I'll take it just in case we need it for something. I don't think, since that pack was not incredibly strong, Furnace Celebration probably isn't going to be utilized by anybody, so again, no reason to hate from the begin with, and no reason to hate now anyway. Same here, like I don't think Cold Oath Birth is going to be utilized by anybody because there really weren't that many Wellsprings, so I'm just going to go ahead and take these coatings. And Soliton, if we care to, I don't know how he came 14th. I mean, he's not amazing, but he's not horrible. Well, now we really have to decide if we want to use the Scrap Melter or not. It looks like the person to our right was indeed going blue, because notice how little blue we got that pack. They might have not have been able to, say, utilize the Trinket Mage, whereas we could. I am going to have to make some cuts from this deck, and what I'm going to cut, I'm not exactly sure yet. Put in the cards we are probably playing first. I mean, I might not, as I said, be playing the Throat Seeker here. Yeah, because it doesn't fit in, like, while it works okay, it doesn't fit in with our plan of killing people, and our deck is actually looking like it might have a decent curve and be somewhat aggressive. Alright, well, we got 25 cards here, so we're going to have to cut 2. This could be a risk, splashing this. I know we have the Iron Mirror, and I know we have the Railsmith to get, rid of it if we need to, and we do have some cycling cards. Throat Seeker looks like the obvious first cut. I mean, and maybe even a Forced Worship. The problem with Forced Worship here is that we are attacking a lot on the ground, and we have like something that's going to curve out. I mean, dropping Copper Carapace into Sunspear Shikari and equipping it doesn't really lead us to wanting to drop Forced Worship on something. And Priest of Norn doesn't seem amazing either, though. Like, it could be that Auriok Replica is just better than the Priests. I mean, and deciding about Vivisection, too. We don't really have a lot of... I guess Necropede's a good target for Vivisection. And Auriok Replica. I just don't like Priest of Norn much in this situation if we're not playing the Throat Seeker. Because we're really not concerned about getting in there with Infect, and we only have 2 flyers here. And we have a decent amount of 2-drops with the Copper Carapace. I mean, even Iron Mirror with the Copper Carapace on him can do some damage. I don't know if Auriok Replica or maybe even the Soliton's better. We don't have a lot of high casting cost stuff, so it's possibly just going to something like Soliton could be superior. But, I mean, Auriok Replica is something we likely want to trade early. We have Remember the Fallens, though Remember the Fallen works pretty well with the Spellbomb. I think this setup is okay. Again, Forced Worship doesn't look amazing in our deck. I mean, if they do have some big fatties that we need to shut down, and we could move to a more flyer, slow grind out flyer plan with defense. We could sub in like the Priest Nor and the Worship and move to that route. But I don't really think we want to especially go that route with what we got. I'm going to lean toward 8, 8, and 1. I know recommended more blue, but this guy's really best on turn 2. This guy, obviously best on turn 4, but like Corrupted Conscience can generally wait. We don't necessarily need to be casting that fast. And I'd rather, I think, have this guy out or this guy out quicker than Riddlesmith. While turn 1, we'd rather have blue, to guarantee that we can keep, if we don't draw the Sky Hunter. Like if our hand ends up being like Plains, Islands, something, and no Sky Hunter, we'd rather have access to a blue, because we're probably going to have like the Spellbomb. But I think this is correct. Oops, let's go back to what we had. I think I only want to be playing 1 mountain, since we do have the Iron Mirror, and we do have a lot of decent card drawing and the cycling. Alright, I will see you for round 1.